When you know your bro likes dudes, but you just can't prove it yet. When you know bro supports Tom from Tom and Jerry, but you just can't prove it yet. The ones who don't know. The ones who know. The ones who know too much. The ones who know, but can't prove it. When the actor who usually plays villain seems nice in the movie you're watching. When you know ads are more sensitive to touch, and even have bigger touch radius, but you can't prove it yet. Me in school watching a random kid use a pen that looks identical to the one I lost, but I can't prove it. When I know bro only studies robotics to build a Slex robot, but can't prove it yet. Knowing I would be a good billionaire, but my bro case can't prove it. When you know it's a triangle, but you just can't prove it. When you know most of the people in this sub are millennials and Gen X, but you just can't prove it. Me who knows odd numbers are evil, but can't prove it. When you know it's another AI generated picture, just can't prove it yet. When you realize one horse can produce up to 15 HP, you lied to me. How many other lies have I been told by the council? When you think your son can pause his online game, but just can't prove it. When you know that the big ace backpack stunted your growth back in school, but just can't prove it. When you know Ron's rat is a middle-aged dude, but you can't prove it. When you know who actually darted, but can't prove it. How it feels when you're right, but can't prove it. When you know bro ate all your crayons, but you can't prove it. When you know bro goons to photos of you, but you can't prove it. When you know the random group of people next to you are laughing at you, but you can't prove it. Scientist goes berserk, and we don't have pictures. I heard Spider-Man was there. When you know Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but you just can't prove it. When you know there's no egg, but you can't prove it. Harry in Half-Blood Prince, when he knows Draco is a Delta Eater, but he just can't prove it. When you know bro has a truly criminal Reels feed, but can't prove it until Instagram's newest update. Gum's gotten mintier lately, but I can't prove it. When you know tons of women out there love being called mommy, but you can't prove it. When you just know that there was or is primitive life on Mars, but you just can't prove it yet. When you know there's another watermelon seed in your mouth, just can't prove it yet. When you think, but just can't prove it. Before conspiracy, there must have been Conspira A and Conspira B. I just can't prove it yet. When you know the artist draws pun, but you can't prove it. When you know a butterfly caused the tornado, but you can't prove it. When you know that West won't respond to Article 5, but just can't prove it yet. When you look at the works of an Instagram artist and know he is a Roll34 artist, but can't prove it. When you know the text is AI, but you can't prove it. Knowing Jamie Foxx and Kevin Durant are the same person, but I can't prove it. When your friend says he didn't study for the test, but you low-key know he has studied, but you can't prove it yet. When you know Spider-Man's new suit is basically Raimi's, but can't prove it yet. When someone says you're lying, but you're telling the truth, and just can't prove it. Visible frustration. When you know bro is a furry in his free time, but you just can't prove it yet. How it feels to know that my parents are the best parents in the whole world, but I just can't prove it. When bro says he's going Thailand for the food and beaches, but you know the kind of man he is, you just don't know how to prove it. When the shady cloaked guy called Rafe Grobber smells like a necromancer, but you just can't prove it. Insight check failed. When you know Darth Vader is actually Anakin Skywalker, but you can't prove it. When you know bro smells his lingers after scratching his butthole, but just can't prove it. Women give men pickle jars to open, just to make them feel strong, but I can't prove it. When you know the Warlock's patron is a malevolent god, but you don't have any proof. How it feels knowing that one shop in your city is a money laundering scheme, but you can't quite prove it. When you know there's something weird about Pedro Pascal, but you just can't prove it yet. When you're sure a famous historical figure was a time traveler, but you can't prove it. When you're suspicious the prepared caster isn't actually choosing his spells for the day at the start, and always having the most situational spells ready at a moment's notice, but you can't prove it. How it feels knowing your ex misses you and wants you back, but you just can't prove it. When you know bro wants to drink tonight, but you just can't prove it. How it feels when this one girl gives off weird and fake vibes, and you're the only one who noticed yet, so you can't prove it. When you know the PS2 would load faster if you ignore it, but you can't prove it. When bro's browsing history is empty and you know what kind of man he is, but you can't prove it. When you know bro is waiting for you to stop calling instead of picking up the phone, but you can't prove it. When you know bro secretly likes to eat bananas for the shape and not the taste, but you can't prove it. When you know bro is muted because his mum is shouting at him, but you can't prove it. When bro suddenly starts using quotes and taking nonchalant pics because of a girl, but you can't prove it. When you know bro is sweet texting his girlfriend and ignoring your memes, but you can't prove it. Kid me figuring out how the Undertaker entered the ring when it went dark, but I couldn't prove it. When you know the Pokemon would stay in the ball if you hold down the A button, but you can't prove it. When you know bro doesn't wash his hands after using the toilet, but you can't prove it. When you see the teacher smiling at bro with the good grades and you start to realize why, but you can't prove it. When you know bro with a girlfriend still likes goth mommies and wants to be a good boy, but you can't prove it. When you know bro is sleeping with a waifu pillow, but you just can't prove it. Me as a kid not stepping on tile edges or I actually die, but I can't prove it. When you've already opened the fridge 3 times and there's still no snacks in there, but you can't prove it. When you know bro actually enjoys them little rom-coms with his girlfriend instead of playing games with you, but you just can't prove it. Bro, I know you be secretly practicing TikTok dances, but I can't prove it yet. Bro, I know you like boys, but I can't prove it yet. When you know bro actually duck with his girlfriend Hello Kitty stuff, but you just can't prove it. When you know bro be munchin' cereal with milk for breakfast instead of motor oil with screws like a real man, but you can't prove it. When your mic is muted and you swear it's still recording, but you can't prove it. When bro has Vaporeon, Gardevoir, Lopunny, and Ditto in his team, and you know what kind of man he is, but you can't prove it. Bro, I know you be listening to right girl music in secret, but I can't prove it. When you know bro darted, but you can't prove it. When you know bro has this Jigga Danger in his playlist, but you can't prove it. When bro is telling a joke from a meme you've already seen, but you can't prove it. When you're solving a maths question, but you can't prove X. Every time you show bro a danger, and he act like he heard it before, but you can't prove it. When you know bro actually enjoys watching Dora, and not because of his siblings, but you can't prove it. When you know bro did something, but you low-key forgot, but you can't prove it. How the cops be moving when they in the car behind you and you're innocent, but you can't prove it. When bro is going to Thailand for the culture and food, but you know what kind of man he is, and you can't prove it. When you hop online and bro is already in game without you. When bro still hasn't reacted to the 99+ memes you've sent, but you can't prove it. When you know your 50+ co-worker with a loving family and kids has a crush on all female apprentices, but you can't prove it yet. When bro be acting all innocent and friendly in front of your parents, but you know his real character and just can't prove them. Bro, I know you're secretly talking to your girlfriend in a baby voice, but I just can't prove it. When you know bro got his clothes from the women's section, but you can't prove it. When bro owes you money, but he be spending a little too much lately, and he forgot it, but you can't prove it. When you know bro be drunk texting the 2/10 daughter, but you just can't prove it yet. When bro's eyes be glowing red, and you know he already smoked one without you, but you can't prove it. Bro, I already know but I can't prove it yet. When you know bro secretly likes kawaii anime music, but you can't prove it. When you see bro commenting on a public post, so you like it, to let him know you watching his every step. When you know that Maki Nobara shippers are My Hero Academy shippers, but you can't prove it. When you know your girlfriend is lying and still looks you in the eye, but you can't prove it. When you think that girl has a crush on you, but you are shy to ask her, so you can't prove it. Prove that 1 over sine x plus 1 minus 1 over sine x minus 1 equals 2 over cosine squared x. When you know the answer is hence proved, but you just can't prove it. When I know that the orb is sentient and speeds up to troll the Tenno, but I can't prove it. How it feels when everyone thinks you are the Bay Harbor Butcher, but you're not, and can't prove it, after 10 seasons. When you know Isaac Hadja didn't just forget how to drive in Q1 right after Helmet eyed him for Red Bull, but you can't prove it. You know Cuttlefish loves Demoness, but you can't prove it. When you know he is cheating on the exam or test, but you can't prove it. When you know bro is a vibe coder, but you can't prove it. When you know toys are moving when you are looking, but you can't prove it. How it feels knowing that one shop in your city is a money laundering scheme, but you can't quite prove it. When you know bro's recess jokes are not just comedy, it's character, but you just can't prove it. I know you're holding back, I just can't prove it. When you know your homegirl wants you, but you just can't prove it. Hi, I'm Nefa. I'm from Nod Cry. Us, she looks like she's from Sumaru. I just can't prove it. When you know that bro reads your texts from notifications, leaves you undelivered, but you can't prove it. When you know that kid in your class has fairy godparents, but you can't prove it. When I know that the government is paying random internet users to not use uppercase letters just to rage bait me, but I can't prove it. How it feels knowing that one shop in your city is a money laundering scheme, but you can't quite prove it. How it feels knowing your ex misses you and wants you back, but you just can't prove it. How it feels when this one girl gives off weird and fake vibes and you're the only one who noticed yet, so you can't prove it. When you know bro is gooning when he goes AFK, but don't have proof. That one teacher that knows you using ChatGPT to cheat, but can't prove it. When your fifth opponent gave his controller to his older brother during the halftime, but you can't really prove it. When you know your guy friend wants to make out with you, but you can't prove it yet. When bro is nearby your base, and you know something is missing, but can't prove it yet. When the senior developer is refactoring your code just to assert dominance, but you can't prove it. I know these two movies are set in the same universe, I just can't prove it. When you know Wanda's keeping the entire town hostage, but you just can't prove it. I know Nick Meme and Frank Meme 9 are the same person, but I can't prove it. How it feels knowing entry-level jobs don't exist, but can't prove it. When you know 343 guilty Spark is secretly guilty, but you just can't prove it yet. When you know bro is cheating on Wordle, but can't prove it. When I know bro doesn't watch all the 99 reels I sent, but I can't prove it. How I look at the person waiting for the toilet after I come out, the stink was the person before, but I can't prove it. He knows Omni-Man did it, but can't prove it. Mita, Suikyun, Raikou, Entry, or Ikorio, Guzzlord, me, brings Umbrian deck. Mita, Dragonite, Solgallia, Sylveon EX. Me, brings Aerodactyl EX deck. Mita, Suikyun, Raikou, Entry, or Ikorio, Guzzlord. RNG isn't random, I just can't prove it. When you know the true intention of 99% guitarists for why they learn guitar, but you just can't prove it. When you know that he's meeting with other women, but you just can't prove it yet. When that one teacher hates you, but you can't prove it. When you know Space Godzilla is in Godzilla X Kong, supernova, but you can't prove it yet. When you know Tazuna Hayakawa is secretly an Uma Musumi, but you can't prove it. When you know this fellow is not actually joyous, but can't prove it. The new outfit is going to be hard to draw, but I can't prove it. POV, when you know bro is gooning to Jane Doe, but you can't prove it. When you know America and Radigan are the same person, but you can't prove it, in 37 required. And I just can't prove it. J. Jonah Jameson, my god Parker, these Spider-Man pictures are so incredible. How do you get them? Peter, just good luck I guess. Mr. Jameson. Eddie Brock. When my father knows I don't study and just change the screen whenever he comes into room, but he just can't prove it. I know my teacher loves girls, but I can't prove it. When you know half of the anti-AI users online use ChatGPT regularly, but you just can't prove it. Me looking at that one person I know is evil, but I just can't prove it. When you know they have a group chat dedicated to plotting against you, but you just can't prove it. When you traced bro's alt accounts on F-boy webs, but just can't prove it's him. When the professor knows a student has used ChatGPT, but can't prove it. How it feels to know you're the least favorite in the group chat, but you can't prove it. When you know David Baszucki is in the Epstein files, but you just can't prove it. How it feels knowing SpongeBob is Rosewater, but you can't prove it. Computers were originally designed to make everything easier, bet you can't prove it. People who sarcastically make up a conspiracy theory, people who actually believe in it, duck, but both of you just can't prove it. When you know the code worked yesterday, but you can't prove it. Human remains found near Taylor Swift's Rhode Island home, police. Westerly, Rhode Island, police confirmed to People that they were called to a scene in the Watch Hill area. They think she did it, but they just can't prove it. POV, bro goes from missing every bullet to having no recoil, and you know he's Zim, but you just can't prove it. Me. Remember kids, she can't prove the baby is yours if she never knew that you were there. Until next time. When you know that bro is on a morning plus night skincare routine and started using sunscreen for his GF, but you can't prove it. When you know damn well that kid got very odd parents. How it feels being right, but you can't prove it. POV, when you know your girl is spying on you, but you can't prove it. How it feels knowing your friend likes someone, but you can't prove it yet. How it feels to sense his weird actions and just know that he's hiding something from me, but I just can't prove it. When you know your friends find you annoying, but you can't prove it. POV, me watching that one colleague who is always high whilst at work, but I just can't prove it. When you know bro secretly talks to his girlfriend in a baby voice, but can't prove it yet. How it feels when you know bro genuinely likes kids, but you can't prove it. When you know bro went in creative, but you just can't prove it. POV, when bro starts typing slower and it's full of typos, so you know he's gooning, but you can't prove it. POV, you know background noise comes only when you start recording, you just can't prove it. How it feels knowing that one friend has tons of savings, but claims to be broke 24/7, but you can't prove it. When you know that one guy is a player, but you can't prove it. How it feels knowing your homeboy likes men, but you just can't prove it. When you know your homie secretly practices trekking at home, but you just can't prove it yet. When I know my bro goons to cute furry F-boys, and that he's the Bay Harbor Dexter, but I can't prove it. When you know two of your friends are secretly dating, but you can't prove it yet. When you know your bro is guy, but you can't prove it. How it feels listening to someone who is obviously lying, but you can't prove it. When you know your car's running like shit and wants to break down, but you can't prove it. It drives fine. When you know bro acts like a dog for his girl, but can't prove it.